morning, and welcome to Coffee Ann, the longest-running panel discussion show in American radio. To make a comment or ask a question to the panel, call 401-766-1240 or email coffee@woonsockеtradio.com. And now, let's join the Coffee Ann panel.
Good morning to you. It is Coffee Ann time here on ON Radio, and I'm Joe Callahan. I've been that way all day today, so didn't make it in with Dave this morning.
You
but
didn't
that's
show
okay.
up. Yeah.
It didn't show up on time. Yeah. Nice to have you with us. That's Dave Richards over there. Hi, Dave.
Hi there. How are you?
We're being joined by Town Administrator from North Smithfield, Scott Gibbs. Hi, Scott.
Hi,
Good morning.
Scott.
Good morning.
And let's see. We got to get to our telephone call because on the phone is
What you looking for?
the right buttons. Don't worry, I'll find it. Here we
All
go.
right,
I'm
yeah.
getting there. Dan Genren from the Woonsocket City Council.
You're the first guy to do a show with that new control board.
I know.
I thought you'd have it by now.
How are you, Dan?
I'm good. How are you, Joe?
I'm doing okay. Dave and Scott are here.
That's not what they tell
Hi,
me.
Dave. Hi, Scott.
Good morning, Council President.
Dan, they tell me you're great. They don't tell me you're good.
Oh, I am
You
great.
should read your own publicity.
So the Woonsocket City Council meets tonight at 7 o'clock at Harris Hall.
And it's going to be a short meeting, and everybody's going to get home in time for Love Boat. Right, Dan?
I don't think so.
That's the way the agenda looks to me. We'll see what the public says.
Well, so many people come out for good and welfare, right?
No hour
That's
and
right,
15-minute talk shows ahead of time?
Oh, there might be.
I don't know what to expect, but it's
I know.
always a possibility.
I'm teasing you. Yeah, okay, I get it.
So what else is on the agenda for this evening, Dan?
It's actually, as Dave was saying, it really is a short
Short?
agenda.
Okay.
There's a few routine items. We're doing the there's one unique thing, and I will just say this so that I can explain to people. There's a resolution on tonight for the River Island Condominium Association, which is the first condo association right at on the bypass, Truman Drive, near the coffee shop, and it's the big condo. They're having some problems with a berm that's on the backside of their property along the Blackstone River. So they are applying for a grant to do some repairs to it, but they needed the council support
Of course, yeah.
for that submission. So that resolution is not the city going out for a grant, but for the River Island Condo Association so that they can then protect their property by reconstructing that berm.
Well, that's
Okay.
interesting.
And
Yeah, so it's I think a $300,000 grant, and they will be using that to obviously buttress the current dam or the current berm that's there now.
Nothing about rumble strips?
Nothing about rumble strips, surprisingly. No, that seems to, as people have learned to drive the Truman bypass, they seem to avoid the rumble strips a little bit more than they were. And I get it. It was a new thing, but I do think that the rumble strips play an important part, at least in the transition, because nobody was driving that road like it was still, like it was now a two-lane road, and people were coming close into head-on traffic. So
Sure.
I think it was necessary.
Okay. I'm just...
Besides that,
I'm feeling playful
there's,
this morning, so I was just teasing you again.
Okay.
All right.
The other thing is we've got the second passage for the illegal camping on public property.
Mhm.
We have a telephone pole or a utility pole on Crawford Street, and then the final vote on the homeless shelter to be placed at 181 Cumberland Street, run by Open Doors.
Okay.
All right. Do you expect on the encampment issue, Dan? Do you expect it to be a vote of 5-2 again, or do you think things might switch?
Well, I haven't heard that there's anyone changing their mind. I don't know if as I've said to others, the mayor made a strong plea at our work session, which unfortunately the public couldn't hear because there was a YouTube problem. But he made a real, almost a passionate plea to just please pass this, because he says he needs to move on. There's some very pressing items, and as he pointed out at that work session, they've removed 4 dumpsterfuls of trash from that property, and he had gone down there over the weekend, and the property looks worse than it did. He said his estimate now is that there's probably another 10 dumpsters of trash to be removed. So he said he can't spend any more time trying to fix this without, just being able to encourage people. We're going to have a shelter that is going to be available to these people, and he wants to be able to encourage them to take advantage of the shelter. And if anyone knows how Chris Beauchamp has been, Mayor Beauchamp has been, he has been very passionate and very helpful at these encampments. And I think that if anyone thinks he won't handle them with care and compassion, they don't know Mayor Beauchamp. And so after his plea, I don't know if maybe some of the people will change their mind and vote along with the 5-2.
Well, then that will be it then, right?
Yes, that'll be second passage, and then hopefully, as the mayor said, we can move on to the other important pressing things that, like our budget and the wastewater treatment plant and a few other less obvious but still important issues.
Very good.
All right.
Well, you can
Good
hear,
update, Dan.
we heard heard Mayor Beauchamp on the radio doing that in passion plea you just mentioned, and we'll be listening to all of you do your work tonight.
Good. And I want to encourage people and remind people that it's, as always, this meeting is being broadcast live on WOON. So if you, we still have not been successful in getting the cable coverage back up, but through all of this, WOON has stayed the course and has that valuable resource available to people who want to listen live. So tune in, and if you can't be there live and in person, know that you're welcome to listen on WOON.
All right,
Thank you
Dan.
very much, Dan.
Thank you very much for calling in. Have a good meeting.
Thank you. You take care. Nice seeing you, Administrator, and Dave and Joe. Have a good day.
All right. Take care. Bye.
In the meantime, while Dan was talking, we have been joined by Melissa Murray on our panel as well.
Hi,
Good
Melissa.
Melissa.
Lovely day.
She was someplace very exciting on Saturday. Well, let's find out if Scott was there, too. Scott, did you travel out of town on Saturday?
No, I didn't.
Ah, so
Why?
you weren't there at the big soccer game.
No,
It was
we
a
really-
huge social.
we-
Scott, can I ask you to get a little closer, please?
we really wanted to
we
go.
want you to be heard in Primrose.
We really wanted to go.
Yeah.
But we just had other commitments that we couldn't make
oh,
it.
yeah. This time of year, there's a lot of conflicts and schedules.
Yeah. Well, my family are huge soccer fans. All
Yeah.
3 of my kids played soccer from 5 years old through college.
Yeah.
So we really are disappointed by not going. But we will be there anyways during the year.
Next game is Thursday.
I won't be Thursday. Town hall is
All
open
right.
until 7 o'clock Thursday night.
But Melissa, did you go over the weekend, Melissa?
I did. Yep.
Okay.
I was.
Now,
in,
what match did you see?
I saw the inaugural match.
Oh, you were there
Yep.
for soccer?
Yeah, I was there for soccer.
Okay, I thought you were going for something else.
Nope. No, that's later on in the month.
Okay.
I'm going there to see some rugby.
Right, right.
Yeah. Right.
So okay.
National championships. Right.
So all I heard from the soccer, it was just a loud, raucous affair from beginning to end. Would you
Yeah,
agree
folks
with
are
that?
folks are very excited. I thought it was great. Everyone looked to be having a great time.
Mm-hmm.
Folks are really excited about the game. The stadium is beautiful. Obviously brand new, easy to navigate, and I found parking right away. And it was probably
That's
a
nice.
quarter to a third of a mile from.
Where
Yeah,
you parked?
it was 4 minute walk.
Well,
no,
great.
no big deal. So
Did you get caught in the rain?
yes, stay till
Everybody
the
got
end.
caught in that rain,
Well, if
didn't
you
it?
stayed right to the
That
end,
wasn't
yeah.
even on the forecast.
It's just I know. You know, the weather tricks you sometimes, but it was like the last 2-3 minutes of the
Yeah.
game. It
And
just
it just-
opened up and started pouring.
They play in the rain?
they played in the rain. They
play
played
out
all
the
the way
road.
through the
Yeah,
rain,
right.
and
Soccer
yeah,
players aren't wimps.
No, they like
They
the
play
football.
in all weather.
right. They just kept playing,
Yeah.
and it was such a short little bout that the rainbow came out.
Oh, I saw the
and,
rainbow picture,
across
yeah.
across Pawtucket.
Yeah.
Just at the end of the game, so it was nice. It was fun.
Well, I'm glad. All right.
I know there were a lot of naysayers on social media saying, "Oh, you're never going to find a place to park. Who was going to go there?" I mean, the
That's
place
what social
was.
media is for.
the
Anybody
place
needs
was
a little dose of
full. It was-
negativity, simply go to your
I
Facebook
didn't pay
page.
for parking. I got free street parking. Everything was absolutely great.
All right.
Yeah, a lot of fun.
Scott, you'll appreciate this. This is why I actually have staff go to the Facebook page. I don't even go there. So if you want to try to call me out for something, don't bother. I'm not looking. It's like yelling at the Amish. They're not paying attention.
I don't follow it either, although I have a daughter that does. So whenever somebody says something bad about me, she immediately calls me up. So will you please just leave
And
it
I got
alone?
staff that says, well, you should see what they're saying about you on the social media. Oh, really? I didn't do anything.
You don't
You
have
don't
to.
You don't have to.
Just exist.
All right.
So, Scott, you got a town council meeting tonight.
Yeah.
Yes, we do.
6:45 on
Yep.
Green Street, right?
Yep.
What's going on with the agenda with that?
Oh, you got a zoning thing tonight.
Well, no, that's going to be.
It's not going to happen.
That's going to be delayed.
Oh,
we're s-
postponement. Yeah.
Yeah, we're still trying to get the peer review expert testimony people together.
Oh, that's not right.
No,
That's
we
not
still
right?
have we've reached out, but we haven't solidified that yet. So that's really what the main decision was at the last public hearing. So Town Council President Kim Alves decided that we should defer it then for the next meeting.
Yeah. And you got a charter review committee that's going on. They'll be giving you an update tonight.
I don't know what they're giving an update for. I haven't met him yet.
Oh,
All right.
I think they've
that's
just
probably going to be in the update. I haven't talked to the guy
they've
yet.
just got organized. Still in the process. We've made sure that through the town council president, and they have a representative on the charter review commission, that they definitely meet with the administration because we're more familiar than anybody about the operations and issues regarding the charter and things that need to be changed.
Yeah, you have an executive session tonight too, huh?
I guess so.
Yeah, that's what it says there. Dudley Development.
Yep, whatever.
Gonna do that one with the mics off.
Yeah, yeah.
Clear the room. Shut off the mics.
Scott, have you met with the people at the Sales Hill Rod and Gun Club?
Yeah, in fact, that day after the flames settled, I didn't want to be in the way of first responders, but I did go out there, talk briefly with the fire marshal, and then circle back with the president and vice president of the Sales Hill Rod and Gun Club. The next day, I delivered for them an application for a tax abatement for the balance of the year since they've lost all their property, and told them that the town will make it a priority to respond to them immediately on anything that they need from us. They're going to have to go through a lengthy...
Well, that's kind and thoughtful.
Well, I mean, they've been in the town for a long, long time. There's
But
multiple,
on top of everything else,
multiple
then
generations.
looking at, they say, still being taxed on what's not there anymore
Yeah.
would be a wound that's not necessary. So that's very thoughtful.
Absolutely. So we're hoping that they get through the process. It appears that the state has defined what the source of the fire was.
Yes, they
Hopefully
have. It's
they
an
can,
accident.
Yep, and hopefully they can get a insurance settlement quickly, and I hope they rebuild. I haven't had any subsequent
Well,
conversation.
they don't have a
with-
vote on that yet, but yeah, I think a lot of people are sharing your view.
Yeah.
hoping
Again,
they
I don't know
rebuild.
what the nature of their insurance policy is, and the cost to rebuild in this market is
Oh,
astronomical.
Yeah.
right.
But we'll see. Hopefully, it's an institution that needs to be supported.
Really is, yeah.
Yep.
And they've been a good neighbor in the neighborhood too.
Well, there's always people who complain about the noise. There's people who complain about Addyville East too. I mean,
Oh gosh, yeah.
it's just, to me, it's like, come on.
For those who don't know, Addyville East is out in the Mapleville area
Yeah.
of Burrillville.
Yeah, you can,
Another,
and I live
gun
in
range.
Yeah.
Kind of thing?
I live in Forestdale, and I can hear it very clearly from my house.
Sure.
Doesn't bother me. Just people, if you're going to live in a rural community like everybody likes to say North Smithville is, which I disagree, then that just goes with living in a rural community. I used to live right next to a farm. My grandparents ran farms. I remember the manure truck used to go by my bedroom at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Sure.
Just part of living in
In the area.
So it doesn't bother me. Of course, in all due transparency, I'm a big. I like to shoot guns. I
you do
love
too, yeah.
I love clay shooting. I love pistol shooting. It's part of my culture, and I don't have a problem with it at all.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to take a break here in the Coffee and program, and comments and questions can be called in at 766-1240. More coming up. Transforming your house into a home is what they do at Cumberland Kitchen and Bath Design Center. Kitchen trends for 2025 include big color, open shelving, mixed materials, hardware reimagined, keeping it green, and room to gather. Kevin and his crew at Cumberland Kitchen can show you the latest trends and possibly something you have not thought of. Visit CumberlandKitchen.com or stop into the showroom in the McDonald's Plaza on Mendon Road, Cumberland, just off Route 295. Cumberland Kitchen and Bath Design Center. Okay, let's talk Mother's Day. Belo's Flowers has the best Mother's Day present. Your choice of hundreds, and we mean hundreds, of different outdoor flowering baskets with so many beautiful varieties to choose from and new deliveries arriving nearly every day. You're sure to find something that your mom will love. And with proper care, the hanging baskets will be a gift she can enjoy all through the summer. If it's cut flowers or floral arrangements that mom loves, Belo's Flowers has those too, along with a lovely selection of indoor plants. Belo's Flowers, located at 665 Diamond Hill Road, Woonsocket.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
Welcome to Staples.
Hi, I hear Staples prints it all.
Oh, you bet. Posters, banners.
Can you print it all for Father's Day?
Oh, of course. Photo gifts like canvas prints, photo puzzles.
Can you print it all for graduation?
Sure can. Custom cards and invites.
Can you print a huge banner with the grad's picture?
Oh, definitely.
Even an embarrassing baby picture?
Oh, those are the best kind.
I know, right?
Print it all for dads and grads at Staples. And right now, get 40% off custom cards, invites, and photo gifts. N75 exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details.
The Coffee and Panel is enjoying coffee from Down East Coffee Roasters. All their coffee is roasted right here in Rhode Island. Down East Coffee Roasters is available at all Little General stores. Coffee and on ON Radio. Thanks for joining us. Joe Callahan here with Dave Richards, Melissa Murray, and Scott Gibbs, town administrator from North Smithfield. Now, back to the Sales and Rod and Gun Club. They haven't, you're saying they haven't made a decision, but whether or not to rebuild.
they
but
have to have meetings
Are they
still.
leaning any which way? Do you know?
I've not had that kind of conversation with
Okay.
them.
I don't know if they mentioned anything in that area. Okay. Over the weekend, North Smithfield had a North Bend 5K.
Yep.
How'd that go? Everything
Went very well.
Good.
The proceeds from that go to the Special Olympics and the North Men's Athletic Association. It seemed to be good participation. We were a little bit concerned because one of the roads was being repaved. And we're hoping that road's completed by the date, and it was.
Good.
Ray Pendergrass made sure of it.
You don't need any twisted ankles
No,
in the race.
no.
All right, well, great. And looking at your newsletter, it says members of your administration.
You talk about soccer players doing it in any weather. How about runners?
No,
yeah,
absolutely.
that's true.
Well, soccer players and runners, there's
Any
really
runners,
no
any
difference.
condition, runners will run.
Yeah.
According to the weekly newsletter that goes out for North Smithfield, members of the administration recently met with RIDOT Director Peter Alviti
Yeah.
and members of his staff
Yes.
just to go over how the progress is going. And
Yes.
what did they tell you?
To be honest with you, if you just sit and watch the TV, you have one opinion. But when I have an opportunity to sit down with the director and his staff, I quite frankly I was fairly impressed. We were talked a lot about our local issues, things that we're looking to do in the future, including the 146 project for us, and they're very supportive. So it was a great meeting. I was
Good.
very pleased.
And everything's right on track, according to them?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Well, now they have the flyover going in both north and south directions.
That's exciting.
Much better.
that really seems to have helped. I had to go somewhere. I forget where I was. I think I was going to Lincoln, and so I left here and went through Park Square, and I'm expecting it's 3 in the afternoon, the usual 5 or 6 minute delay before I even see the light, and the flyover's up, and even at 4 in the afternoon, just zip right on through. It's gonna be saving you a couple of bucks. You no longer have to put that police cruiser over there at the entrance to Sales Hill Road to stop people from looking at their GPS and cutting through the neighborhood.
Yes, that's good for our budget.
Yeah.
That's typically overtime.
But yeah, so northbound we got relief first. That they had traffic backups that went clear back to Lincoln, of course.
Yep.
And southbound we still had the backups, but now it looks like they're fairly well relieved. You still get a backup because people, being what people are,
They just slow
they
down.
will pass everybody on the right and then cut in.
over.
Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
kind of wish they wouldn't do that. They go, if you're going to go over the flyover, get on the left-hand side. But they've been
soon as you
doing that
can.
on the other side too.
Yeah.
There's a lot of signage on the other side.
Right, and
to kinda
they
let
will
you
just
know.
continue to go down on the right and try to intimidate their way into cutting in, which means that fast track lane over the flyover bridge can't move as fast as it would because people have to keep slamming on the brakes because folks are cutting in front of them. Well, that's human condition, isn't it? Eventually, though,
Everywhere in
that's-
Rhode Island, it's not just there.
So that's
Right
it.
on cue.
Right on cue with the horns.
There you go.
Looks like someone not too happy with the truck.
Hey, Joe, can I make a little presentation over here?
Go ahead, Dave.
All right. Well, in my capacity as chairman of the board of the Blackstone Valley Tourism Council, I wanted to do something special here. And Scott Gibbs, of course, is very, very special because North Smithfield is special to the Blackstone Valley and such a big part of it. As everyone knows, Bob Billington, the founder and first president of the Blackstone Valley Tourism Council, has come to the point in his life where it's time to retire. The Tourism Council board has appointed James Toomey, who has been with Bob for a dozen of years, a little more than a dozen years, as a matter of fact, and drank the Blackstone Valley Kool-Aid. And he's now running the place so ably that nobody even knows there was a transition. So that's pretty good. And now he's finished 4 complete months doing that. But Bob is retiring. And coming at the end of June, Bob will then really go into retirement because for the first 6 months, there was the kind of like the both
Right.
of them at the same time. You know, the overlap that we thought was important for continuity. And but Bob, one of his last projects is putting together a report, and it kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Now it's 3/8 of an inch thick, and it's an actual beautiful, full color, glossy report of everything that happened in the first 40 years of the Blackstone Valley Tourism Council. And it's got beautiful pictures in it and all kinds of information, memories for a lot of people who lived through all of this, but maybe didn't tuck it away in any way you can organize in your brain. And on the 17th of June, we have our big soiree down at the headquarters in Central Falls, right on the river, right next to the Explorer and everything. There's going to be a big party there. I'm sure that you have invitations, Scott. But the book is ready, and they want to make sure that you had an advance copy before anybody else gets it. So I'd like to present this to you here on behalf of the Tourism Council.
Oh, thank you very much.
The first 40 years, I think that when you look through that, you're going to remember a lot of the things that are in that book firsthand from your own life experiences here in the Blackstone Valley.
It was 1 year after I came here, so it's unique. I like it.
Yeah, so you're going to remember all that
Absolutely. Well, I wouldn't go that far.
Well-
that requires memory.
stuff. I get it. But anyway, thank you
Thank
for
you very
accepting
much.
that.
And I would be remiss not to acknowledge Bob. I mean, his unrelentless fighting for the Blackstone Valley in a state that seems to be very myopic when it talks about tourism.
Oh, yeah.
If not for his efforts
We've
and
lived
the
it.
efforts of the board of directors, we would not be at where we are today. So he deserves an incredible amount of accolades.
And North Smithfield's a very big part of it.
Thank you very much. I appreciate
You're
this.
very welcome.
Now, we saw Bob Billington at the grand reopening of the Museum of Working Culture.
Yeah.
He came up with that, and when Ann Conway got up to speak, they said she wanted to recognize people that were in the room, and she recognized Bob Billington. And she said he was going to be the director of the Blackstone Valley Tourism Council for at least another 3 hours before he goes off into retirement. So I got a good laugh there at the,
Yeah.
at the museum. All right,
But he
Scott.
and his wife, Debbie, Debbie's
Yeah.
retiring here in June. and they want to travel. And so he'll be free to do it now with James in charge. And if anybody has any problems, you can call James or call me, and I'll get James' attention on it for you.
Very good. All right, Scott. Your zoning board, the North Smithfield zoning board, is hiring.
Yeah, we're
You're
hiring.
looking for a
we're
zoning
hiring
board secretary.
Yes, we are. It's not an easy position to fill in large part because we don't pay very much.
Okay.
But it's a critical position. And
Full-time?
Well, whenever the zoning board meets.
Okay.
The only caveat is if we don't have a clerk, then we end up having to do, a professional coming in. We really don't want to pay that. So hopefully we can find somebody. I know.
What nights of the week do the zoning board habitually meet on?
I would like to tell you I know, but I don't know because I try to keep my hands completely out of zoning board and planning board.
Okay.
I don't believe I belong there.
Okay.
But I don't know when they do meet. They like every other board and commission, have regularly scheduled meetings.
I'm just thinking somebody might be listening that, hey, I got Tuesday nights open.
Yeah.
It's posted on the website in terms of the meeting schedules. So if you're interested, take a look at it or call up town hall and speak to Leo Cody, who is the zoning officer for the town.
All right. And you mentioned how you had the North Smithfield Town Council meetings. One is tonight, and why do they start at 6:45 and not at 6:30 or 7?
That's a really good question. I
thanks.
really don't know. It's in
Really?
my schedule 6:45. I don't know how. Usually it's 7 o'clock for a lot of boards and commissions, but I'm not sure why they do it that way.
Interesting.
Well, it sounds like one of those legacy things.
Maybe it is.
They said, well,
This is
we
the way
want
we've always done it.
Yeah, we want to get the prayer and the pledge out of the way and be, hitting the ground running by 7 o'clock and get the business underway. That might be something like that.
Maybe.
Okay.
Years ago, we used to put the station on the air at 5:45 because we had a prayer for 15 minutes. Then by 6 o'clock, we were hitting
Ready
the
to
ground
go.
running, and that might be the way.
All right. How are things over at the North Smithfield Food Pantry?
I visited there 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And it's a very robust operation. I know that there's some conversations about its future in terms of where it should be located.
Well, right now it's at the Congregational Church.
It is at the Congregational Church. I think
they
there's
just outgrown their spot there.
yeah, and I think maybe the Congregational Church would like to have the space for other programming. As most people know, the town is trying to put together the pieces for a senior center at the former Hollowell site. It's been envisioned that the food pantry would possibly go there, and I think that's actually been part of the discussions with the architects. So we'll wait and see.
That makes sense.
It does make
a
sense,
lot of
yeah.
our
To put it there,
A
sure.
lot of our food insecure Rhode Islanders are seniors.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Glad things are going there. Any news on that you might have heard of? Remember the last time you were here, we just had the incident in North Smithfield where the vape shop was vandalized.
No, I haven't heard anything. Although the beauty parlor next to Revive, I think it was about 2 weeks after, it got vandalized.
Same way?
Somebody broke the window. Yeah, it's been fixed immediately.
Yeah.
I called up the chief to ask if they have any idea as to who or what, and it's an ongoing investigation.
Still okay. I wonder if someone just doesn't like the plaza.
Well, obviously the beauty parlor next to Revive is not the plaza.
Oh, okay.
That's next to the old town hall.
Gotcha. All right.
So why
both places?
could just be somebody who's incredibly bored. I don't know, but it's unacceptable in any
It sure
community.
is. All right, we're coming to our with our time with Scott is coming pretty close to an end here. Anything you want to mention, Scott, that we didn't quite bring up earlier?
Well, the big issue right now is reval. The release the new numbers. Our residential valuations went up 31%. Burville's went up 32%. So we're all pretty much in the same category. People need to understand, though, that does not mean your property taxes are going up 32%. It means simply that we have a new value of which, based on a new budget, we're going to have to come up with a new mill rate. But the maximum the tax levy can go up in any 1 year is 4%. So we'll wait and see. I have a meeting this morning in terms of setting the rate relative to the town administrator's budget, which is not necessarily the final budget. The final budget is established by the council.
Very good. Will you be attending tonight's town council meeting?
I attend every town
All right,
council
very
meeting.
good. All right, Scott Gibbs, town administrator from North Smithfield. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you very much.
Always-
Appreciate it.
always
And
have-
thank you for
enjoy
the
having you
gift.
on.
I appreciate it.
You're
Thanks,
welcome.
All right, take care. Good to
All
see
right,
you.
we'll take a break here on the Coffee and program. More coming up. Weather forecast being brought to you by unbound.org.
Rain could be heavy at times today, mainly before 4 p.m. Patchy fog, too. High of 62. Winds from the northeast, but only up to 10 miles an hour. An 80% chance of between a tenth and a quarter of an inch of rain today. Tonight, showers with thunderstorms also possible after 4 a.m. Some storms could produce heavy rainfall. Patchy fog. Overnight low of 50. Northeast winds. 90% chance of precipitation. A half to 3/4 of an inch of rain is possible overnight tonight. Tuesday's weather, showers and possibly a thunderstorm in the morning, then coming back again later in the day. Some storms could produce some heavy rainfall. Patchy fog is also possible. High of 64 Tuesday. Chance of rain 100% Tuesday, and could be between 3/4 and 1 inch of rain falling then. More rain on Tuesday night as it starts to lighten up, but Wednesday, we still have showers, 60% likely, possibly a thunderstorm, mostly cloudy, high of 69. Thursday, the sun returns, high of 70. Friday, 40% chance of a shower, mostly cloudy skies, and 54. Saturday, partly sunny and 62. And on Sunday, mostly sunny skies, high of 73.
Outside the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Ave and Kennedy Street, we've got clouds, we've got some light rain, and we have a temperature reading of 54 degrees. A girl in Kenya dreams of becoming a doctor. An elder in Guatemala dreams of being part of a community. Reach out and change their world, and it will change your own at unbound.org.
Ever order a pizza that turned out to be not quite what you expected? Order from Ollie's Pizzeria in Woonsocket and taste the difference local love can make. Not only do Sam and Tina live in, work in, and love Woonsocket, they know exactly what it takes to make you the perfect pizza. That's because they have been making pizzas since the 1970s. Sam and Tina have made and served over 2 million pizzas with their combined experience. So they know what it takes to make the perfect pizza pie. Taste the local love that has customers coming back for more and more at Ollie's Pizzeria, 204 South Main Street, on the corner of South Main Street and Front Street in Woonsocket. Ollie's. If you're celebrating a major event, regardless of the reason, Michael's Meats of Cumberland can elevate your next meal from ordinary to extraordinary, with meats so good your guests will ask you where you got them. Tell them Michael's Meats. Michael's Meats is in the Walgreens parking lot on Mendon Road in Cumberland, just north of the Ciabro Plaza. They're open Monday through Saturday at 9 a.m., making your next meal truly special. Here's this week's specials at Michael's Meats.
Extra lean sirloin pork cutlets, $2.77 a pound. Extra lean certified Angus beef round shaved steak, $6.98 a pound. And Michael's all white meat chicken salad, $6.99 a pound. See these specials and more at Michael's Meats Facebook page. These specials are good through Wednesday, May 7th at Michael's Meats.
Hey, it's Cruisin' Bruce from ON Radio. And what are people saying about my Saturday block party every weekend? Well, let's ask.
Hey, Bruce, big fans, Bobby and Jane. We try to call as much as possible from Cumberland.
I think you're wonderful. I love you. You're awesome.
God bless you. I really enjoy the show.
Hey, Bruce, this is Wendy. Thank you for all your great music.
You have a wonderful evening, and again, enjoying the show.
Hey, thank you very much. Make it a point to join me every Saturday from 4 to 7 p.m. on the one and only ON Radio.
Really make our weekends. I love it.
You're a legend.
Well, let's not go overboard.
It's Coffee and here on ON AM and FM. Thanks for joining us this morning. My name's Joe Callahan. Around the coffee and table, we'll say there's Dave Richards. Say good morning, Dave.
How are ya?
Melissa Murray's here. Hi, Melissa.
Good morning.
And we're joined by a couple of guests. There is a new organization being formed in Cumberland called the Cumberland Coalition for Small Business, and joining us is Brad Dean. Hi, Brad.
How you doing?
And Craig Force. And there's a third person that's part of this, right? That's putting this
Correct. Yeah,
coalition
my
together.
cousin Jason.
Okay.
Yep.
So 2 deans and a force, huh?
Yes. there
Okay.
you go.
Very good. All right. Now it's the Cumberland Coalition for Small Business. Who came up with this idea, and why is it needed?
So, I'm gonna say me and Craig both started talking about. So I recently ran for mayor in Cumberland, and it was through this process I realized that we don't really have any organization for small businesses in town. Like, even if you want to start up a small business, or if you need help with operating your existing business, there's really nowhere to turn to. I know you have the Chamber of Commerce that is a potential resource, but we wanted to have something more localized. I've known Craig for years, and he was telling me that he was kind of part of this volunteer group that is made up of basically some small business owners or people that work for small businesses.
Yeah.
And then we started talking and said, hey, I wonder what it would take in order to, because even at the town hall level, there's nothing on the website that doesn't even show who we have in town for small business.
Okay.
So we were talking, thinking, hey, good resource for local businesses, and we want to kind of get the mindset, go local. If you have an option, if you're looking for an electrician or a plumber, the idea of this group is we're going to have a directory.
Oh, directory, okay.
Of it's going to start out as primarily Cumberland businesses.
And then I think through Brad's campaign, you heard from a lot of people that were even thinking about starting up a small business of how do I do that? Where do I start? What do I need?
Mm-hmm.
And there's very little guidance for people to go to accomplish those things and to do it the right way. When I was starting out my business, luckily I had a strong enough network of people in town that I could reach out to and ask those questions. And, it was a lot of trial and error. And if I would have known the right way, I would have done a lot of things differently.
Okay.
So
what is your business, Craig?
So my business, I work as the business growth for CSC Paymaster, which is a local payroll company here in Rhode Island.
Mm-hmm.
And then I opened up my own insurance agency where I focus on group health insurance and Medicare for individuals in Rhode Island.
Okay. And Dean, your profession?
Yes. Yeah, I work for a family business my father started 47 years ago. It's Dean Warehouse. We do warehousing distribution for customers across the country.
Okay. So your coalition, you have your 4 basic principles: get stronger together, business growth support, increase exposure, meaningful connections. How many businesses have you reached out to help to join the organization now?
So we've just launched basically about a week ago because we had to finish the website, get that going. So our first event is being held on May 22nd at Ravenous Brewing in Cumberland from 5 to 8. We're hoping to get...
kind of like an open house kind of thing?
Yeah, open
Exactly.
house. Correct.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, we're going to have some businesses there. So every business, when you start a business, you need, the insurance side, law side, and stuff like that. So we've invited some local Cumberland businesses on, as part of it to kind of give an outlet for people looking to, potentially start up a business, or if they need help with their existing business.
Yeah.
Okay. When you reach out to the businesses now to tell them about the coalition that you're trying to put together, what's been their reaction?
Yeah, they've been very receptive.
Oh, good.
We even talked about, even during the campaign, I was hitting a lot of small business in town and mentioning to them that, we were thinking about doing this, and they love it. Unfortunately these days it seems to be a lot of red tape in a lot of towns with trying to get things done, grow your business. And, hopefully this is one way that, we'll be able to kind of have a conglomerate of small business in town so that we can, hopefully push some of that stuff along and maybe remove some of that red tape.
All right. Now, Melissa's a state rep.
Yes.
Senator. Sorry, I keep getting that backwards. I'm sorry about that. She does.
Don't give me a demotion
she
yet.
Does, wow. Now she doesn't. Cumberland's not her area.
Woonsocket, North Smithfield.
But
we met during the
Yes,
campaign.
yeah, we
at
did.
K, yeah.
Did? Oh, okay.
At Case. Everyone knows
Yes,
Case.
everybody knows Case.
Yeah.
Have you reached out to any of the state senators or reps that represent Cumberland to talk about this, the coalition?
We actually
See how the
have.
state could help you out?
Yeah, no, you're right. That's actually not a bad idea. We should probably do that and see what kind of resources are available on their end.
All right.
We've gotten the Secretary of State involved. They're willing to do quarterly seminars for us.
right.
So one of the things is part of what we're doing is education a lot to the businesses in town. So we'll do quarterly seminars anywhere from HR and compliance, CPAs that are coming in to whether I should be in a sole proprietor, an LLC, or an S corp. What is the difference? And then the Secretary of State has volunteered to come in as well too to do seminars for us for the local businesses.
Yeah, Greg Amore is just fantastic and super helpful. But you know, when I opened my business, I had a business on Main Street for about I almost made that 5-year mark. It was just really, really tough. When I started, I didn't know. Did I want to be a sole proprietorship? Did I, what kind of documents did I need? I didn't feel that there was right, and I didn't know where to turn. I turned to friends or people that I knew had small businesses already to ask them. So really, like, that resource is super helpful. Maybe somebody is like, okay, I'm ready to go. I don't know where to start. Or maybe someone's like, oh, well, I was just thinking, is this feasible? I want to think it out first before I make that big investment. So
I have the
those resources are
same
really
experience. When I took over, when I built a company to take over this place here that I've been working at since I was 16 years old. Now I'm 35, and I start a company. I buy the place where I'm working because I don't want anybody to fire me, and it wasn't that good. So I figured it's the only way I was going to get it done. But all joking aside, dumb, stupid thing, and it came back again to haunt me again this time. A decision I made at the time, now it'll be incredibly expensive to change, and I don't like the decision, but I had no idea. Are you going to operate on a fiscal year or a calendar year? They just ask you that question. You say, well, what's the difference? Well, one starts on January 1st, and the other one starts on either April 1st or October 1st.
Your choice.
Right. And I'm saying, well, I don't know. So they say, well, when do you do most of your business? In the third quarter, the fourth quarter, or the first quarter? I said, we do most of our business in the fourth quarter. Oh, well, then you got to have a fiscal. I never would have gone along with that because of the ramifications of filing your taxes and the expense of the CPAs to do things on that staggered basis. And you folks would be able to tell people about that before they get themselves into a trap. I had no idea. I was no babe in the woods. I was 35 years old, and this was my third company, but I had no idea how that was going to play out in the future. You guys can help.
Yep,
Correct.
absolutely.
Yeah, a lot of people don't really consider or think about on all the things that go into making a budget. And they might have a passion or a skill in order to have a small business, but there's so many things, that go into on different line items. So having those local experts that are here to help that, they're also your neighbors as well too. And that's the part that, what we really like of having that passion on, the Cumberland Coalition is, you're doing business with people that you live close with. You know?
But why would you ask a question like that from a CPA who needs people on a fiscal year because he can't take any more business that has to file in April, and there's no growth in his business unless he gets some people put off to other parts of the year. They got a vested interest in putting you on a fiscal. Now, that's just my example, and it's one small example of this. You don't know what you don't know when you start off, and that's why it's valuable to have you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah,
each industry is different. So, what one person deals with, another industry deals with something different too. So,
Brad, you mentioned that you wanted to get your website up and running. What is the website for the Cumberland Coalition?
www.ccfsb.com.
CCFSB?
Yeah, Cumberland Coalition for Small Business.
Small business.
We abbreviate it because
Typing
type
it
all
all
that
out.
in. Yeah.
got another learning experience.
Yeah,
With the long one, we're like, we gotta shorten this somehow.
We did. We started with a long
They're
one.
also very clever. You can't make an acronym out of that.
No, it's not a word.
Without hurting your mouth.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So when you go visit the businesses in Cumberland, do you have to split it up and say, okay, you take Diamond Hill Road and High Street, and you take Menden Road, and someone start down at the Central Falls line, start moving your way up?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, between born and raised in Cumberland all my life, my family, parents as well, it's like I know a lot of the people in town. So a lot of it's been just word of mouth, phone calls, emails. We are sending out a postcard that's going out this week to every small business in town. There's about 1,100 of them in Cumberland alone.
We probably have about 8 to 12 volunteers right now that are helping with the organization and building it out.
Okay.
So we have a lot of feet on the street right now as well too.
All right,
but we're
good.
growing it organically. We're not doing anything like digital marketing or anything like that. It's mostly through Facebook ads and word of mouth.
Okay. How did you how'd you raise the money to do this mailing that's coming?
So we're going to be doing that through the through some of the memberships that we have. So we have 3-tiered memberships.
So you have people that have already signed up.
Correct. Yeah, there are some people
see.
already on board. There's probably about 8 to 10 of them already. We already have. So that's how we're doing. Trying to pay for some of this. That and like Craig said, we got about 8 volunteers right now that are working with us.
Mm-hmm.
They're just donating their time, because everybody's on the same page with
The
this.
longest portion was probably getting the 501c3 status.
Yes.
Submitting all that paperwork. That was a learning experience in itself.
We needed help with that one ourselves.
We had a great CPA that volunteered her time in order to get that done as well too. So a lot of volunteer effort.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I'd like to mention that any of the money that's left over at the end of the fiscal, as we talk about fiscal budget, we're actually using that money for a Cumberland High School graduate that we're going to give a scholarship.
Scholarship.
To.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Great idea.
Yep. So this is all volunteer. Nobody's making anything off of this. It's just to support the community.
Is the scholarship would it be open for anybody, or just someone going into like business administration or marketing, or?
Yeah, we haven't really finalized what it is we're going to put it
Parameters,
towards. We
okay.
just know that
You
we
wanna do
want
that.
to.
We would like to poll
Pick
the
a local-
members, I think, on that and find a collective decision.
Okay.
Seeing that it's a true community organization.
All right, we're going to take a break here on the Coffee and program, and more coming your way. And we'll be back. We've been talking with Brad Dean and Craig Force. They are part of the startup of the Cumberland Coalition for Small Business right here on ON Radio.
Hey, interest rates are starting to fall. Now's the time to see how much home you qualify for. Dean Bank's team of mortgage professionals can work with you to assess your financial situation, answer all your questions, and help get you pre-qualified before you buy. Email mortgages@deanbank.com or call this phone number 508-528-0088 or visit us at deanbank.com today for an appointment. Dean Bank has been helping customers since 1889, and we'd love to help you too. Dean Bank is an equal housing lender, member FDIC, member DIF.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers.
T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it. Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with Turbo Power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/55 to learn more. With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 new lines with autopay for well-qualified customers plus taxes, fees, and $35 per line connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Charger sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
When you're thinking about a place to go out to eat with your family or the whole gang, or maybe something quieter for just the 2 of you, head over to ON Radio's website, woonsocketradio.com, and click on the restaurant guide. This gives you a listing of the best restaurants in the area. You can take a look at menus and possibly even make reservations. This is a great resource to see a bunch of restaurants all in one place. Remember, it's woonsocketradio.com and click on Restaurant Guide. And if you own a restaurant that's not already listed, call WOON Radio at 401-762-1240 for information on how your restaurant can be on the Restaurant Guide. Call Joe at 401-762-1240.
You can depend on us for public service. ON Radio.
Coffee and on ON, thanks for joining us. This is Joe Callahan here with Dave Richards. We're here with 2 members from the newly formed Cumberland Coalition for Small Business, Brad Dean and Craig Force, and Leslie Page from the Woonsocket Harris Public Library has joined us at the Coffee and program. And hi there, Leslie.
Good morning.
So we want to hear from Leslie right now, just see what's going on at the library here in Woonsocket.
Good morning. Our hours are Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., Tuesday, Friday, and Saturday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. We offer self-service photocopying and faxing. Our reference department provides notary services free of charge on Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m., 2 to 4, and 6 to 8 p.m. Tuesday and Friday, 9:30 to 11:30 a.m. and 2 to 4 p.m. and Saturday from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m. This week, the Children's Department is offering Sensory Exploration Fun today at 10 a.m. and on Wednesday, May 7th, also at 10 a.m. Music is Fun with Anne-Marie Forer on Wednesday. Oops, excuse me, that's incorrect. Book Buddies on Wednesday, May 7th at 4 p.m.
It's live radio.
And also Read to Storm the Alaskan Malamute on Saturday, May 10th at 2 p.m. For more information about all children's programs, please call 767-4122. Our teen department holds a tabletop role-playing game every Tuesday from 3 to 4:30 p.m. Anyone age 11 through 18 is welcome. Storytelling through theater is a drop-in workshop for ages 11 through 18 at the library every Thursday from 3 to 4:30 p.m. For more information on all teen programs, please call 767-4132. The next Tech Tuesday will be held on Tuesday, May 13th at 2 p.m. This session will be devoted to learning email tips and tricks. Call 767-4124 to register. All of the latest information about programs, services we offer, and how to reach us can be found at our website, woonsocketlibrary.org, or on our Facebook page. If you have any questions or would like more information about anything I've mentioned today, please call us at 769-9044. And we look forward to seeing you at the library.
All right, Leslie, thank you very much. Guys, don't be intimidated by Leslie, but she is the smartest woman in the room. She's appeared on Jeopardy in California. So
no kidding.
Yes.
It was a long time ago now.
That's pretty neat.
It was a fun experience. It was
how did you fill out a form or something? How does that work?
You took an online test.
Yep.
And then at the time they did in person kind of an audition. A group of you went to, we did it in a hotel in Boston. Huh. And then you waited, and if they were going to call you, they called you, and if they weren't, they didn't, and they did call me. So
that's pretty neat.
Get on.
Yeah.
We got a note that was called in and talking about the scholarship that the coalition will want to get out. The note says the scholarship should go towards a student that's going to open their own small business.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. I don't know if anyone at 17 or 18 knows if they want to open their own business at the time, so that might be tough to find someone that's going to do that. But hey, you never know, right?
You never know. Yep, absolutely.
All right. Let's see. Moving on, looking at some of the information that was sent to us by the coalition. Businesses that have already signed up: Dean Industries, CSC Paymaster, Automated Business Solutions, Compliance HR Consulting, Berg's Eye Communications, Gallagher, and Chasing Tail. What is Chasing Tail? TAIL.
Yes, exactly. Chasing Tail is it's a high-end fishing apparel line.
Really?
Yes.
If I would have guessed, I would have thought it was like a dog grooming place.
I know, right?
No, but it's fishing, huh?
Yes.
Yeah, we also
fishing
have
and
a bunch of a small handful of entrepreneurs as well too that are going to be part of the mentorship program.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a local attorney and CPA that are going to be doing seminars helping people with those questions that they had of what type of entity should I be.
Mm-hmm.
We have insurance people as well too, so this way the people are properly insured. All just to forecast budget, so this way again that they can be successful and make it past year one, past year two.
Okay.
Like you said, figure out how you want to.
Or be 35 years in and regretting a mistake. No,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And once you make that call, Dave, you can't change it at all?
Sure you can.
Okay, but how much money is that going to cost you?
Exactly.
Thousands?
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
Thousands of dollars to change it.
Okay.
And then you got to get an accountant that wants to change it, which is not that easy either.
No.
So basically, you're stuck.
Gosh, yeah.
You're
doing partial returns and stuff like and advanced tax payments that you wouldn't believe what the IRS puts you through.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever you are, it would be easier to tear down the corporation and discontinue it and transfer all the assets into a brand new corporation, which ain't cheap either.
No.
But it would be easier to do that.
Wow. All right. Now, the Cumberland Coalition for Small Business, you're going to have an event on May 22nd. That's coming up in just a couple of weeks at Ravenous Brewing. What time does that start again?
It's from 5 to 8.
5 to 8. Oh, okay. And once you get up and rolling with more businesses, do you plan to have one of these events like every month, every couple of weeks?
I think we're planning on doing every quarter to start.
Every quarter to start.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
Just a way for your the coalition members to get together and network and do things like that.
Correct. Yep. Exactly.
All right. Well, I hope it works out for you. That's great. Have you reached out to anyone at Cumberland Town Hall for help or whatever you could possibly need from the administration?
So we did originally, and they actually have a similar type coalition set up, but I knew one of the board members who I reached out to because I'd never heard of it prior to looking into it.
Okay.
And I guess there was a program started about 9-10 years ago, and then just never went anywhere.
I see.
As a matter of fact, we tried to get the business listing from the town, and they couldn't even provide a list of all the businesses in the town.
Wow.
So we had to go to a different source in order to get to the 1,100 businesses.
Then we found out too that there's actually like a penalty that if you don't register within the town.
Yes.
But we couldn't really find any information on any of that. So that's part of what we're going to be doing is trying to work with Town Hall. We should all be working together. So that's part of our mission of what we're going to be doing as well.
Is there a business development person there at the Cumberland Town Hall? You just go right to the mayor.
No, yeah, I think it's going to be going right to the mayor, right to the top.
All right, go right to the top guy. All right,
Yep.
that's fine. Let's see. Dave, do you have any? Do you have any questions for
Already asked
Brad or Craig?
You didn't tell me to prepare more than one question.
Prepare another question. All right.
Dear.
All
Sorry.
right. When did your website get up and rolling?
Just got up and rolling this past week.
So it's just
Yep.
Okay.
So we did that in conjunction with the postcards going out this week, which hopefully everybody get by the end of the week, and then we're gonna set up. We have an Eventbrite set up so we can track registrations.
Correct.
But we're hoping that it's going to be a big hit.
A lot of things that you're waiting on as you're building the organization is you're waiting for approval for a lot of the things. So the 501c status took forever to get approved and get that approved by the Fed. And then because we can't open up the doors or receive any funding until that's approved. So that was just approved probably about a month ago, and then we could really start to develop and focus on the website.
Did you know right off the bat that you wanted to be the 501c3 kind of a business, kind of an organization?
Yeah, there was an individual within the group that she was pretty well versed in that side of the coin. So
said you have to do this.
Yeah,
no. You look at what you intend to do with the business, and they've got a charitable component, and they'll be looking for raising money, and people who are giving away money many times look to see whether or not there's a tax advantage that's included in their philanthropy. And so you need a classification of 501c3 for people to understand immediately that they can give freely and the federal government will support it.
Okay.
Correct.
I wonder if you'll find that as businesses join the coalition, they'll find out that they'll be saying, hey, I didn't know this business was even in town.
Yeah, exactly.
I can use you.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know you were here.
Absolutely. And they're going to be kind of pre-qualified members. We're hoping this catches on through the state and other towns. I mean, Craig's already had a couple towns reach out asking
how did you start?
Correct. Yeah. So just through regular networking, they found out what we were doing in Cumberland, and there was an individual in Cranston that's a representative, and he's like, "Hey, this is great. You should do this in Cranston as well too." Unfortunately, it's just too time consuming as a volunteer to jump from town to town to build these.
It's only 24 hours in a day, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Are there any other hurdles that you're trying to get over right now? Is there any stumbling block that?
No, I think we pretty much did all the back office stuff is done. We're ready to rip, and we're just hoping that we get some good membership. There's 3 tiers of membership, and two of them include advertising your business on a local podcast, and the 3rd tier is actually being a guest on a local podcast.
All right. And all this information is on your website.
It's all on the website. Yep.
And that's CCFSB. Did I get that right?
Correct.
.com.
Correct.
Very good. All right. So, well, let's see. I wish you all the best in this. I think this is a great idea.
Yeah, appreciate it.
That you guys came up with, and I hope the businesses latch on.
Yes.
As quickly as they possibly can, and make the thing a huge success. I wonder if you're going to run into, well, let me know if so and so joins, and I'll join if they do, kind of thing. You never know what you're going to run into.
I'm sure you get some of that. Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, that's just the way it goes. All right.
Yep.
All right. Brad Dean and Craig Force from the Cumberland Coalition for Small Business. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Program. This has been good information for the town of Cumberland, and remember their website, CCFSB, for all the information and how the Cumberland businesses can join this organization. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having us.
You did a fine job putting today's show together, Joe, because we had North Smithfield Town Administrator on, the President of the Woonsocket City Council, and now these gentlemen from Cumberland. I think you've touched 3 good bases here today.
And Leslie's from Woonsocket, so there we go.
That's true. Double dipping in Woonsocket. Okay.
Thanks for coming in, Leslie.
Thank you.
All right, and Dave, thanks for being here as well.
Yes, and I want everybody to stay tuned because
you're
going to feel good We have a new show coming on here that's going to make you feel good and tingly. It's going to make you feel good about yourself and the world. Kim Garneau is going to be here with a very popular Blessings and Good Health program right after the news.
Thanks, Dave. This is Joe Callahan. Be back this afternoon from 2 to 6 here on ON.
Call and request. Drive them nuts.
Broadcasting live and local daily from the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Avenue and Kennedy Street. This is WOON Woonsocket Radio. And now, the news. A woman has injured her leg after falling under a RIPTA bus in